Hello everyone, welcome to your Easy Guide to English section. This is our second lecture for this topic, sentence correction and error spotting techniques. So we've already covered a few topics. So if you have not watched that video, I'll recommend that you start with that one. And if you have watched, so let's start with this one. Now the first topic in this video would be parallelism. So parallelism is about when you're talking about several things in one statement, you try to maintain a parallel structure in the whole sentence. Let's see how it is done. So the first rule in this says that items in a list or series must follow the same grammatical form. So when you're listing some actions, things, or you have to use the same form for them. For example, if you are using a noun, they should all be in the noun form. If you're using a verb, they should all be in the verb form or adjective form. So they should all follow the same form. For example, she likes dancing, to sing, and cooking. Now, this sounds very jarring. I mean, it doesn't sound very good because even if you're not following grammatical rules, then also it doesn't sound good or it doesn't feel very good. So, dancing is a gerund, to sing is infinitive, and cooking is again a gerund. So, they should either be all infinitives or they better be all gerunds. Since we have two gerunds, we'll change to sing and we'll change it into a gerund. So, she likes dancing, singing, and cooking. Now, this sounds simpler and like better, and understanding the statement is also better. So, she likes dancing, singing, and cooking. So, in this way, whenever some list of items are present in a statement, they should follow the same format. Let's look at another example. The job demands focus, being punctual, and discipline. Now, focus and discipline is fine. They are both noun. Now, being punctual phrase is a word phrase which feels very like it feels out of place. So, in order to make it grammatically correct, we'll say the job demands focus, punctuality, and discipline. Now, it sounds better and it's grammatically correct also. So grammar also makes it a point that the sentence is more like it sounds better, and when you hear it, you can make sense of it. So it's only possible when it is simpler and it doesn't have like too many inconsistencies. So consistency is very important in maintaining understanding, and of course, grammatically correct language also. Okay. So the project requires patience, effort, and being creative. So yeah, being creative is so out of place. No, patience and effort, it's fine. They're both noun and it's sounding like it's the sentence is forming some sort of format. But if we write it like the project requires patience, effort, and creativity, it makes sense. It is grammatically correct and it is simpler. Okay. So whenever you are writing, listing out things, always see that they follow the same grammatical form. Rule 2. Use parallel structures with coordinating conjunctions such as and or nor. So coordinating conjunctions, although we'll do conjunctions in the later part of the video, but just for a basic understanding, conjunctions are the word that add two words, phrases, or sentences. I'm sorry. So there are three types of conjunctions. So one of the type is coordinating conjunctions. So example of it, and, but, or, nor. So when you are joining two or more elements using conjunctions, make sure that the parts are grammatically equal. So for example, she wants to improve her writing and speaking better English. Now first part, so the here coordinating conjunction is and. So let us look at both sides of and. She wants to improve her writing. So the first side is her writing, improve her writing. And the second side of and is speaking better English. So improve her writing and speaking better English, they are not parallel. But if we want to keep it in a consistent manner, she wants to improve her writing and her speaking. So her writing and her speaking both are now parallel. Now the sentence looks neat and easier to understand also, and hence grammatically correct. So grammar is not only to increase our syllabus, it is also to make things simpler so that the language is easy to understand. The communication becomes easy also. So a lot of times we hate grammar that okay, why so much complication? It's if you understand it, it's actually supposed to make our life easier. So it's only if you understand it. So you really, if you have interest in understanding the language genuinely, you will really love grammar. So let's look at another example. He not only reads fast, but also he can understand quickly. So now the coordinating conjunction here is but. So let's see on both sides of but if the parallel structures are are consistent or not. He not only reads fast, but also he can understand quickly. So it's not parallel and it's not consistent, and hence it's not easy to understand. So he not only reads fast but also understands quickly. Now it is neat. Now it is easier to understand. It is making better sense. Let's look at another example. You can either take the bus or going by train. I mean, it's like you started on one note and all of a sudden you go on some other path. So in parallel structures, it is very important to maintain the consistency. So you can either take the bus or go by train. Now it's making sense and it's grammatically correct also. Rule 3. Use parallel structures with correlative conjunctions, not only but also either or, neither nor, both and. So again, these are correlative conjunctions. So either or, neither nor. So they add two phrases that are related to each other. So they should always be in parallel. So let's see how. She is not only intelligent, but also she has creativity. So first we see that not only and but also are adding two phrases. These are the bridges that are adding that her a sentence describing her intelligence and a sentence describing her creativity. So this is your correlative conjunction. But then in the first statement, we see that the both sides are not parallel. She is not only intelligent, but also she has creativity. No, she is not only intelligent, but also creative. So this is now intelligent. The word before is intelligent and the word after is creative. It is neat. It is easy to understand and hence it is grammatically correct also. She is not only intelligent, but also creative. Either you must finish your work or going home. Either or, the sentences that are being joined by the correlative conjunctions are finishing your work and going home. These two things are being talked about. So these two, the both aspects should be parallel, and when in parallel, they should be in the similar grammatical structure. So either you must finish work or you must go home. Either this is parallel, or if you want to keep it short, either finish your work or go home. So you see how both sides of either, both the parts of either or are now in grammatically similar format or structure, and that is making more sense. Either he will study hard or skipping the test. So if it is study hard, so it should also be the skip the test, no? Because studying hard and skipping the test, either it should be in the similar grammatical structure, both in the ing form or neither in the ing form. Either he will study hard or skip the test. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, rule 4. Use parallel structure with comparison, that or as. When comparing, use the same form on both sides of the comparison. So, she likes dancing more than to swim. Now, this is incorrect. She likes dancing more than swimming. Again, we see that we are using more than, not more, just than, for comparing dancing and swimming, her likeness for dancing and swimming. So they should both be in the ing form. They should both be in the same form. I hope you're getting the sense of things by now. In the parallel structure, what is the most important, or what is the essence here is that you should maintain consistency between the say conjunctions or whatever jointers you are using. You should maintain consistency, or if you're listing many things, many items, then you should maintain consistency of grammatical format in those. So she likes dancing more than swimming. It is easier to type than editing. Now type editing is in ing form, type is in to type is infinitive form. It is not making sense. It is easier to type than to edit by hand. Okay. Reading a book is as interesting as watching movies. It's wrong. Reading a book is as interesting as watching a movie. So the article usage should also be parallel. Okay. Now rule 5. Use parallel structures in repeated sentence elements. Example in slogans, bullet points, lists, etc. So when structuring multiple parts in a sentence or bulleted list, keep the style same. So let's look at some examples. Our goal is to reduce cost, improving efficiency and better service. Now to reduce cost is one format, improving efficiency is another format, and better service is different. So again, it's very, it doesn't even sound good. It doesn't sound clear. You don't understand what is going on because the flow is getting disturbed. So Our goals are to reduce cost, improve efficiency, and offer better service. Now the whole thing is flowing very well, and it is hence easier to understand. So that's the whole point of this section on parallelism. Just maintain the consistency. So the flow of the statement is not disturbed. The company values honesty, being punctual, and working hard. Arre, they are just disturbing the flow. The company values honesty, punctuality, and hard work. So simple. He wanted three things from life: to be rich, becoming famous, and respect. So again, it's very inconsistent, difficult to understand. To be rich, becoming famous, like being rich, to be rich is one format, becoming famous is one format, and respect is different. So he wanted three things from life: to be rich, to be famous, and to be respected. Now it's the three are in the same format, so the flow of the statement is very good, and hence we can understand it better. Okay. So let's look at the rule 6. Match parts of speech, noun with noun, adjective with adjective. So balance must be maintained across the same parts of speech. So if one element is noun, the other should also be noun. If one element is adjective, other should also be adjective. Same with adverb, verb, etc. So let's look at the example. He is foolish and miser. Now why is this incorrect? Because foolish is noun and miser is adjective. Oh, sorry. Foolish is adjective and miser is noun. So, in order to correct it, we will write he is foolish and miserly. Now, both are adjectives. So, this is now again more consistent and hence the grammatically correct statement. He acted honestly but miserly. So he acted honestly but stingily. Now, why do we say stingily? Because for to convert miserly in adverb, we'll have to say miserlyly. Now, like miserly is a verb, and in order to modify verb, we'll have to tell how miser he acted. So miserlyly is not a word, so we say stingily. So it's not like that the whole word needs to be changed, but just that there is no conversion of better adverb here. So we used stingily. So he acted honestly. Now both are adverb. So that's a better statement. She's kind and a genius. She's kind and intelligent because kind is adjective and genius is noun. So she now both are adjective. She's kind and genius. Sorry, she's kind and intelligent. So it's correct. Okay, I hope this is clear. Maintain consistent form in infinitives, gerunds, and verbal phrases. Again, we are pretty much doing the same thing. If I could just write the whole thing in one format, that in if you are talking about several things or if you're listing out several things, keep the grammatical format consistent. Do not change them throughout the sentence. So if you are following using infinitive, so follow it in the consistent manner, gerund follow it in the consistent manner, and so on and so forth. So for example, eating healthy food, resting, and to drink water is advisable. Again, the flow of the statement is getting disturbed by change in the format. So we will follow the same format. Eating healthy food, resting, and drinking water is advisable. So again, now they are all following the same format. He likes to go fishing during the day, but prefers catching fish at night. Not making sense, but I mean, not only the language, but even the content. He likes to go fishing during the day, but prefers to catch fish at night. Now it is making better sense. To die with honor is better than to live with dishonor. Incorrect. To die with honor is better than to live with dishonor. Fine. What is the difference? Oh, right. The two is not there. Sorry. So to die with honor is better than live with dishonor. So like there is missing two because it is not sounding parallel. To die with honor is better than to live with dishonor. So before and after than we are comparing. So it should be consistent. Okay. Use repetition or parallel clause structure in comparison. When comparing ideas or items, keep the grammatical structure same on both sides of the comparison. By now, I hope you're getting this a hang of it. You're getting a sense of it. You're understanding it to some extent. My essay received a low grade more for its grammar mistakes than what was said. So again, it's sounding very incomplete. My essay received a low grade more for its grammatical mistakes than for its content. So now we are getting to understand the comparison that is going on. That more, it is the reduction in grade is more because of grammar than for the content. So more and than should be used, and it should be in a consistent manner. The climate of Jaipur is more severe than Mumbai. So we are comparing the climate of Jaipur to climate of Mumbai. We are not comparing climate of Jaipur to Mumbai. The climates of the both the places are being compared, not the climate of one place and the city in the other. So the climate of Jaipur is more severe than that of Mumbai. That is why it is important to use than that of. So then that of indicates that the climate of Jaipur and climate of Mumbai. Okay. The streets of Delhi are broader than Patna. So here streets of Delhi are being compared to streets of Patna. So when the comparison part is written, it should show that the streets of both places are being compared, not the street of Delhi and Patna, the city. So the streets of Delhi are broader than those of Patna. So when we are saying those of, that means than streets of, because we have used the streets word in the starting itself. Okay, I hope it's clear. Ensure balanced structure with correlative conjunctions. In construction, using both and, either or, neither nor, not only but also, make sure that the items are joined grammatically equal. It's pretty much same as the previous one that we did, but just for the sake of clarity, I have made it into a different rule. She is not only an excellent student, but also she is a superb singer. Now, what is wrong here? She is not only an excellent student, but also a superb singer. What is the difference then? She's not only an excellent student, but also. Okay, we said, but also she is a superb student. We do not need to say she is a superb, but also a superb singer, because she is mentioned at the starting itself, and we are just using a conjunction, which is like a bridge, just joining two parts. So we do not need to repeat she is a, she is a. Okay. We not only want to visit the Taj Mahal, but also the Agra Fort. We want to visit not only the Taj Mahal but also the Agra Fort. So now we put the not only closer to Taj Mahal and the like rest of the statement to make it sound clearer. Not only did he buy flowers for his mothers but also purchased the same for his wife. Not only did he buy flowers for his mother, but he also purchased them for his wife. So it's again making it more simpler. Rule 10. Ensure parallelism in repeated phrases or prepositional structures. If you're using a preposition or phrase repeatedly, maintain the same pattern throughout. They traveled to Agra, to Delhi, and visited Shimla. No, to Agra, to Delhi, and to Shimla. Why to change the form for Shimla? Keep it same as Delhi, Agra, and same as Shimla. He bought flowers not only for his wife but also his mother. He bought flowers not only for his wife but also for his mother. So again, if you are like repeating phrase, repeat the whole phrase. If you're repeating word, repeat this word. If you're repeating infinitive, repeat the infinitive. Two plus verb, two plus verb, two plus verb. Okay, I hope it's clear. Maintain parallel verb voice or clause length in series. So use consistent verb voice, active or passive, or clause structure within a statement. So the trainees analyzed, discussed, and they raised question about the new rules. It's not making sense. Why, when analyzed and discussed is in one format, they raised questions about the new rules? Why? So the trainees analyzed, discussed, and questioned the new rules. I faced the trial believing in my innocence and I desired the truth to prevail. No, I faced the trial believing in my innocence and desiring the truth to prevail. Now, believing in my innocence and desiring the truth to prevail. It's maintaining the same structure, both sides of the of and. Okay. So the whole idea is to maintain the same structure between on all the sides of conjunctions, or if the even if the repetition is without conjunctions, just by comma, just the phrases should be all in the consistent manner. Okay, now let's quickly do some questions and see if we've understood. So I'll request you to pause this video at this point and try to attempt these questions. I've also added rules at the end of this just to give you a hint. So I hope you are able to do it. And if not, then maybe you can go revise what we did and get back to this. So let's pause and do these questions. We have 12. Okay. Okay. Now attempt these. Okay. Now let's do these questions. So the new manager is energetic, confident, and he has good communication skills. So the new manager is energetic, confident, and communicative. So simple. So adjective, adjective, adjective. She is not only a brilliant speaker but also writes poetry. So but and before and but and after but we should have similar structure. She is not only a brilliant speaker but also a talented poet. Now. He enjoys swimming, to hike, and riding a bicycle. Of course, it's sounding very jarring. He enjoys swimming, hiking, and riding a bicycle. So consistency. All are gerund then. The kids were laughing, singing songs, and played in the sand. The kids were laughing, singing songs, and playing in the sand. All are in the ing form now. So it's making better sense. A responsible citizen follows the law, pays taxes, and helping others. I mean, it doesn't. It already feels like that you were walking on a path, and then all of a sudden some abrupt thing has fallen on your path. So a responsible citizen follows the law, pays taxes, and helps others. So of course it should follow the same for. The job demands attention to details, problem solving, and that you follow deadlines. The job demands attention to details, problem solving, and meeting deadlines. So use consistent noun phrases. My friend is brave, a kind person, and intelligent. My friend is brave, kind, and intelligent. The correct would be brave, kind, and intelligent. So all are in the adjective format. He wanted to learn English, improve his communication, and a job abroad. So the correct form will be he wanted to learn English, improve his communication, and get a job abroad. The weather in Delhi is colder than Mumbai. So the correct statement would be the weather in Delhi is colder than that of Mumbai because we are comparing the weather of two places and not weather of one place with the city in the second. She likes to dance, painting, and to travel. So dancing, painting, and traveling. She likes dancing, painting, and traveling. That would be the correct. Or she likes to dance, to paint, or to travel. So either all the three are in the ing format, or all the three are gerund, or all the three are infinitives. So the consistency is important. The CEO is known for his vision, charisma, and that he takes bold decisions. The correct statement would be the CEO is known for his vision, his charisma, and his bold decision making. Okay, so we cannot mix noun phrases with full clauses. And the last statement, the workshop taught participants how to write emails, giving presentations, and how they could speak with clients. So, I mean, a very enriching workshop, but the statement here is wrong. The workshop taught participants how to write emails, how to give presentation, and how to speak with clients, or how to write emails. नहीं, 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 नहीं. ठीक है, how to write emails, how to give presentation, and how to speak with clients. So we have to match the phrases. Okay. Okay. Now we will start a new topic: modifier placement. Now, what exactly is modifier? A modifier is a word, phrase, or clause that adds description or gives more information about another word in a sentence. So it's usually a noun or verb or adverb, anything. So there are three types of modifiers. It can be just a single word, it can be a phrase, it can be a clause. So, for example, adjectives and adverb could be single word modifiers. The blue car is fast. So here, blue is modifying the noun car. It's an adjective, but it's also a modifier. So, same is the case with adverb because it modifies the verb. So she runs quickly. So quickly modifies the verb run. So it's a modifier. Now for phrase modifiers, they are group of words that act as modifier. So the girl in the red dress is my sister. So the phrase in the red dress modifies the noun girl. So that's also a modifier. For a clause modifier adds more details. The book that you gave me was interesting. So the clause that you gave me modifies the book. Which book? The book that you gave me. So that's a clause modifier. So it's like longer. Single word, one word phrase, longer clause, even longer. So these are so what the idea is, a modifier can be just a word, few words, or a longish statement because that you gave me is not complete statement but like longer than phrase. So sometimes when you misplace these modifiers, it completely changes the meaning of the sentence. For example, she served sandwiches to the children on paper plates. So were the children lying on the paper plates? In this statement, it's giving that sense that the sandwiches were given to the children who were on the paper plate. So it's completely changing the meaning. What she's trying to say is she served sandwiches on paper plates to the children. Now the sandwiches are on the paper plate and not the children. So you see how a modifier can completely change the meaning. Now let's look at the rules to use the modifier. So place modifier close to the word that they modify. I mean, of course, commonsensically also, if you do not place it next, if you do not place what is modifying and what is being modified in close proximity, how will we understand? So modifiers, especially adjective and adverbs, should sit next to the word that they are meant to describe. Otherwise, they can cause confusion or unintended meanings, like we just saw children on the paper plates. So let's look at the first example. Covered in honey, I watched the child eat the pancakes. So it's not like I am sitting and I'm all covered in honey and I'm looking at the child. This is what this first incorrect statement, this is the sense it is giving. The correct way to say is, I watched the child eat the pancakes covered in honey. So the modifier covered in honey is modifying pancakes because pancakes are covered in honey. I am not covered in honey. Or the speaker is not covered in honey. So, of course, the modifiers should be placed close to the words that they modify. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This now it's clear the plates and not the children are paper. I'm sorry. This explanation of the previous statement is uh, written here, which is wrong. So please do not be confused. Let's look at the second example. The man walked his dog wearing a raincoat. So, who is wearing the raincoat? Whether the dog is wearing the raincoat or am I wearing the raincoat, this statement is not giving a very good understanding of that because the modifier is not placed at its right position. The man wearing a raincoat walked his dog. So now it's clear that the man is wearing the raincoat and not the dog. I saw a bird on the way to school. So is the bird going to school? Like, who is going to school? Bird is going to school. That's what the first statement is saying. On the way to school, I saw the bird. So, on the way to school is if it is the modifier and I is being modified, so it should be placed closer to the I, not to the saw the bird. Okay, so modifier should be placed close to the word that it is modifying to avoid any confusion. Avoid dangling modifiers. Now, if the subject must follow the modifier, if you start a statement with a modifying phrase, the subject that follows must be the one that is being described. So dangling modifiers are again, if the modifier is placed and what it is modifying is not following it, then that modifier is left dangling. It is left sort of useless. It is not serving the purpose for which it is being used. So that is dangling modifier. So you should see that that doesn't happen to your sentences. So running down the road, my phone slipped from my hand. Now, like running down the phone is followed by my phone. So is the phone running down the road or am I running down the road? So it's causing that confusion. So running down the road, I dropped my phone. Now running down the road is the modifier and it is modifying I because I am the one who's running down the road. And I dropped the phone. So running down the road, I dropped my phone. Now it is clear the phone wasn't running, I was. So after studying all night, the test fell easy. So, who was studying all night? Was the test studying all night? So, after the modifier, after studying all night, I found the test easy because after the modifier, the subject that is being modified should be placed immediately after it. So, there is clarity. So, the test didn't study, I studied the whole night. I should get the credit. Driving through the hills, the view was breathtaking. Driving through the hills, we found the view was breathtaking. So we add we. So the modifier is not left dangling, is not just left redundant or useless. So make sure that the subject comes right after the modifier. Okay, you see the confusion it can cause otherwise. I hope it's clear. Now the third rule says avoid squinting modifier. So don't place a modifier where it could modify two things. So do not give it that position that causes the confusion of which subject or which part of the word or a phrase is being modified. So a squinting modifier is placed between two elements in a sentence and it is unclear which one it modifies. So let's look at some examples. He said tomorrow he would call. He said he would call tomorrow. So now we know when he's going to call, when he was supposed to call. He said he would call tomorrow. So here we understand by call tomorrow how and where it should be placed. So we should not place he would between, so it causes confusion. Okay, let's look at another example. People who work often succeed. So what, like we are talking about working frequently. So people who work who often work. So they are often working. They are succeeding. She told him eventually she would marry him. So whether the act of telling was eventual or the act of marrying would be eventual, that's a statement that is being, that is the part that is getting confused here. So eventually she told him she would marry. So eventually is placed right before she told. So we know that the telling, act of telling was eventual. That eventually she told him she would marry him. Marrying is not going to be eventual. Okay, I mean, that's a different part. We don't know about that. But eventually is used for that she telling him. That was eventual thing. Okay, so here two things are there. She told him and would marrying and telling. These two things are there. So eventually should be placed before she told him. So we know eventual what happened eventually. Her telling that she would marry him. Okay, I hope it's clear. Use limiting modifiers only, just, even, almost, nearly with care. So words like only, almost, nearly, and even, they change the meaning depending on where you place them. So you should place them very cautiously. You should place them, yeah, cautiously. So let's look at the examples and see what this rule is saying. She only ate apples today. So now the placement of only in the statement is such that it feels like the whole day she did nothing, only ate apples. But if we just change the position of only, she ate only apples today. Now only is modifying apples, and it shows that didn't eat anything else. In terms of eating, she only ate apples. Okay. So where only before ate is modifying ate, so that means she did the only one activity in the whole day, eating. So she only ate apples today. But what we are saying that she only ate one kind of thing, that is apples. So you do understand the whether the statement is saying that only one activity was done or only one kind of thing was eaten. So these two meanings are getting clashed. And the only difference is in the placement of only. So we have to be very cautious when we are using these words. He nearly drove for 10 hours. He nearly drove means he's not driving completely, but like almost drove, which is wrong. He drove for nearly 10 hours. That he drove for almost 10 hours. So almost driving or almost 10 hours. So the placement of the word nearly is changing the complete meaning. He didn't nearly drive, he fully drove, but for nearly 10 hours, nine and a half hour kind of uh, timing. So that's the thing. These words, if you change the position, they completely change the meaning of the statement. So I almost told everyone the secret, or I told almost everyone the secret. So it's like in the first statement, the idea is that I was going to tell. I was on the verge of telling everyone about the secret. And the second statement is saying, I told almost everyone. So I told I told the secret to a few people, but not to everybody. So there's a difference where we are placing almost. So almost telling and telling almost everyone. So almost telling means I just almost told, but I didn't tell anyone. It was like almost there. I mean, it was like I was about to say, but I didn't say. And in the second part, I told the secret to a couple of people. Some people I talked to, but not, but like almost everyone. Like if there were 10 people, maybe 8 to 8. So to almost everyone. Okay, I hope it's clear. Avoid modifiers that interrupt logical flow. So why from parallelism we have understood logical flow is very important to grammar. So we should avoid modifiers that are interrupting logical flow. So we should place the modifiers where they maintain the logical rhythm of the sentence and they don't break the subject verb or the verb and object agreement unnecessarily. So she, without a doubt, can dance beautifully. So the comma here is breaking the logical flow of the statement. And also, without a doubt, in between she and can dance beautifully is also not making sense. So without a doubt, she can dance beautifully. So just one comma and the whole statement is also clearer now, smoother and clearer. The student who studied, comma, with great effort, comma, passed the exam. So I mean, it feels like we are thinking of three portions, but it is not required here. The student who studied with great efforts passed the exam. No need to break it with the commas. They will next week begin the construction. They will begin the construction next week. So just place it at the end. So it's not, the modifier next week, just place it at the end. So it doesn't create interruption in the logical flow. They will begin the construction next week. So it's more simple and it is like clearer now. Now, if it is so clear, let's do some exercise and see how clear it is. So again, I would request you to pause the video here and attempt the questions so we can discuss it and move ahead. Okay, now let's try to attempt these questions. So running to catch the bus, the backpack slipped from my shoulder. Running to catch the bus, which is the modifier, and followed by the subject. I dropped the backpack from my shoulder. So running to catch the bus must describe I and not the backpack. He almost worked for 12 hours on the project. He worked for almost 12 hours on the project. So the working was not almost, but 12 hours was almost that. Maybe he worked for 11 and a half hours. So the modifier almost should be placed before 12 hours. Okay. We serve customers hot coffee in ceramic mugs. So it's not like customers are dipped in the hot coffee. We serve hot coffee to customers in ceramic mugs. So we use hot coffee and two customers in ceramic mugs. So you see, you place modifier close to what they are modifying. So hot coffee is what is served and not hot customers. Okay. Incorrect. She told him she would marry him eventually. Okay, we've done this in the examples. So eventually she told him she would marry him. So, I mean, they've had a relationship and then eventually she told him she would marry him. So marrying is not done eventually, telling is done eventually. We've done this. After reading the book, the movie made much more sense. After reading the book, I found the movie made much more sense. So after the modifier, you should follow it with the subject. So it is not left dangling. Okay. I saw a deer while jogging in the forest. While jogging in the forest, I saw a deer. So it's clear now while I was jogging in the forest, while jogging in the forest. So that means I was jogging in the forest. So while jogging in the forest is followed by I, the subject, and then the rest of the statement. While jogging in the forest, I saw a deer. The teacher only gave marks for neatness. The teacher gave marks only for neatness. So only gave marks and marks only for neatness is creating the whole difference. So the only should be followed by the word or the phrase that it is uh, modifying. So only for neatness. So she gave marks only for neatness. Only gave marks. She's not, the act of giving marks is not that is being modified by only. The neatness is being modified by only. So only should be placed before neatness. He said last night he would submit the form. He said he would submit the form last night. So again, first it's like just you place it. It's like two rules. You do not break the logical flow, so you place the last night at the end, and also what is being modified should be placed next to the modifier. He said he would submit the form last night. So the placement of last night makes the timing clearer now. So in the second statement, he said he would submit the form. Submission of the form will be done last night. Okay. With a broken leg, the vet examined the horse. So the broken leg is for the horse and not for the vet. So the vet examined the horse with a broken leg. Okay, so the leg, the horse is with a broken leg and not the vet. She nearly sang for 2 hours without stopping. Again, nearly is not modifying her singing, it is modifying the time. So she sang for nearly 2 hours without stopping. So nearly should be placed before 2 hours. Okay, I hope it is clear now and we can move towards conjunctions. Conjunctions, we'll go through it really very quickly because we have done most of the rules in parallelism. I have just written them again just for the sake of compilation. So, for a topic, if you're suppose revising just one topic, say conjunctions, and not revising parallelism, you do not miss them. So, we'll go over them quickly because some of them are just repeating the parallelism topic. Okay. Conjunctions are the word that connect words, clauses, phrases, and sentence. So they are like bridges in a sentence. They make ideas flow smoothly. So just think of two, uh, say parts, so two sides of the river as two sentence, two phrases, two clauses, and the bridge is the conjunction. So that's how you can picture conjunction. So there are three types of conjunctions: coordinating conjunctions. They connect equal parts, such as they connect two words or two phrases, two phrase, two clause. So two equal parts are being connected. So the example is for, and, nor, or, yet, so. So the a very easy way to remember them is fanboys. So the example that is being used, if you look at the first letter of all these words, FANBOYS. So it's making the acronym fan boys. That's how you can remember coordinating conjunctions. Fan boys. F for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. FANBOYS. Fan boys. Okay, that's coordinating conjunction for you. Sub Subordinating conjunctions, they connect an independent clause with a dependent clause. For example, they are giving a cause or they are giving some kind of condition. So there is some dependence and independent uh, clauses being joined. So for example, because. So when we say I did this because I had to do this. Yeah, because this happened. So one is an independent clause. I did this, and one is dependent clause after because I had to do this. So this is the dependent is clause is dependent on the independent clause. So they join two unequal in the sense clauses. Okay, dependent and independent clauses. So they are subordinating conjunctions because although if these are the examples. Correlative conjunctions. They work in pair. So they connect balanced words or phrases. Example, either or, neither nor, both and, not only but also. So they add correlative sentences. Okay, we'll get to look at the examples in greater details in the rules. So coordinating conjunctions to join equal parts as we did. So like I was telling you, fanboys for and nor but or yet so. So they join two equal elements. So either they should be joining two nouns, two verbs, two clauses. So for example, I bought apples and oranges. So and is joining apples and oranges. So both are nouns. So I bought apples and oranges. So again, but she wanted to come, but she had no time. So again, similar. Do you want tea or coffee? Similar. Okay, so they are like both the sides of it should be equal. So he was tired, so he went to bed early. But now, of course, it's like not making any sense. He was tired, so he went to bed early. Simple. Okay. Don't use double conjunctions together. Avoid using two conjunctions in one connection. Example, although should not be used with but, because should not be used with so, and either should not be used with also. These are some of the commonly done mistakes. So only one connector is enough. So although she was late, but she was allowed in. So we do not need but when we have already used although. Although she was late, she was allowed in. Although she was late, comma, she was allowed in. Because he was ill, so he missed the meeting. No, because he was ill, comma, he missed the meeting. So we do not need to use two conjunctions. One conjunction is enough to give the meaning. Either you go with me, also bring your brother. No, either you go with me or bring your brother. So either or neither nor, so we know these are correlative conjunctions. They are used in pair. So that is all right. But for others, for example, although you do not need to follow it with but, or because you do not need to follow it with so. Use subordinating conjunctions to join unequal parts. So that's the like basic classic definition of subordinating conjunctions, that a dependent and independent clauses are added by the subordinating conjunction. Subordinate is a senior junior. So the word subordinate itself means, for example, if I say X person is my subordinate, that I am senior to X person and the X person is working under me. So that that shows an unequal relationship. Similarly, subordinating conjunctions also join unequal clauses. So one is independent and the other clause is dependent on the first part. So the examples of subordinating conjunctions as we did, because, although, if, when, while, since. So let's look at some examples. She left because she was tired. So independent part is she left, and because is describe she was tired is describing is a cause for she left. So she was tired. Although it was raining, they went on. If you work hard, you will succeed. So what will happen? If you work hard, you will succeed. So it's either cause and effect kind of thing, reasoning kind of thing. So dependent and independent. He missed the class because he was sick. He missed the class because he was sick. So we do not put a full stop and start. It's quite common to start a statement with because by a lot of students, but it's not right. It's like, since because is used to join two parts of a sentence, dependent and independent. So it sort of has two parts, dependent and independent. So it should be in one statement. So because is not, it's not a good way to start a statement with because. He missed the class because he was sick. So the first statement is wrong. He missed the class because he was sick without full stop. That the second statement is correct. Okay, I hope you understand. Use correlative conjunctions in pairs. This is very similar to what we did in parallelism. So either he will come or he will send a message. She is not only smart but also hardworking. Neither the teacher nor the students were late. So we see when these correlative conjunctions are used, the parts between them or before them, after them should be in a consistent manner. So if we say he is not only smart but he is also brave, this is not, this is incorrect. He is not only smart but also brave. Now not only smart but also the sentence, the words between them are consistent now. So The when we are using correlative conjunctions, maintain the consistency, as we discussed in parallelism also. Avoid confusing time or contrast conjunctions. So what are time or contrast conjunctions? While, whereas, although, though, even though. They are they are either trying to present a contrast between two things, and sometimes they're also talking about time. So let's look at some examples and understand how. So I was cooking while she was cleaning. Now here while is talking about time, that while this was going on, I was cooking, or while she was cleaning, I was cooking. She likes tea, whereas I prefer coffee. So there is a contrast between my preference and her preference. So here whereas used for contrast. Although he is rich, he is not arrogant. Again, the contrast is being is being mentioned in the statement, that although while this is happening, this is not happening. So contrast, despite this being present, this is not happening. So contrast. So and we can use while for both time and contrast. So we have to be very careful about using it. Similarly, though and although are sometimes interchangeable, but we do not need to follow it with but. So if we say although he tried hard but he failed, it would be wrong. Although he tried hard, comma, he failed. We do not need to follow although with but. Okay, it's again a very commonly committed mistake. Rule 6, use conjunctions to maintain parallel structure. Again, we've done this before. So, she likes dancing, singing, acting, all are gerund. So, it's making sense. He's not only intelligent but also creative. So, we follow the not only but also conjunction ke beech mein, we follow it in a consistent manner. You can either write an essay or take a test. So, we see write an essay, take a test, again consistent. So, these are all correct statement following a consistent grammatical structure. He likes to read, writing, and to speak. Again, it's disturbing the flow. He likes to read, write, and speak. Now that is making sense. Or if we were to say he likes to read, to write, and to read, to write, and to speak, that would also be correct. But to read, write, and speak is also following the similar structure. So that's also correct. Okay. Now let's quickly do these exercises, because we have done in parallelism also, and conjunctions was pretty much a revision of that part. So let's quickly do these exercises. Pause the video here and attempt the question so we can do it together after that. Okay, I hope you've attempted the question, and let's see what is wrong with them now. Although she was tired, but she completed her assignment. We did this was the last rule. Although she was tired, she completed her assignment. We do not need but with although. Okay. We do not use two conjunctions together. Okay. He is not only smart, but he is also hardworking. Why do you have to use the second statement so long? Keep it simple, keep it of the equal size. Equality of rights is there in the grammar also, that if a phrase is used, just keep it equal on both sides, or consistent to be more precise. He is not only smart but also hardworking. Only smart, also hardworking, consistency. So correlative conjunctions must appear in full and be balanced. She wanted to go shopping because it was her day off. She wanted to go shopping because it was her day off. What is the difference? Okay, sorry. I read the statement wrong. She wanted to go shopping and because it was her day off. Of course, and because why would we use two conjunctions together, coordinating and subordinating? It's not making sense. So she wanted to go shopping because it was her day off. You can either take the bus or walk. So you can either take the bus or walk. So, acha, theek hai, this is correct. That's what I thought. What is the difference? It's correct. He said that he will come, but also he might be late. He said that not only he will come, but also that he might be late. Now, this statement, it's making more sense because correlative structure, they are balanced here. That not only he come, but he might also be late. Okay. The teacher entered and the students stood up. The teacher entered and the students stood up. It's correct. The teacher entered. Okay, so there is a need for comma before and. No, it's correct. Okay, the statement is correct. Because he studied hard, so he passed the exam. When I check university copies, I see so many students starting the sentences like this. I understand when once you're writing and you're thinking like this happened because this happened because, so your thoughts flow like that. But this is very jarring to see statements starting with because. Because he studied hard, so he passed the exam. Because he studied hard, he passed the exam. So because and so are not used in like together in pair. When because is used, that's enough. We can completely skip so. And it's, you should not start the statement with because. That's not a very good, it doesn't give a very good impression. While I agree with your ideas, but I don't think it will work. While I agree with your idea, I don't think it will work. So we do not need but followed by while. Okay. While already implies the contrast, using but is just redundant. She's both intelligent and she works hard. She's both intelligent and hardworking. So again, parallel structure. He either can attend the meeting or send someone in his place. He can either attend the meeting or send someone in his place. So the word either should be placed just before the word it is modifying. So either attend the meeting or send someone in his place. Okay. Now let's look at the preposition errors. We have already done preposition. So again, this will also, I've brought this here for the sake of compilation. So we'll quickly go through these. So do not use unnecessary prepositions. Of course, don't do anything unnecessarily. Why would you do anything unnecessarily? So avoid adding extra prepositions that don't belong, especially at the end of stay questions, or verbs that don't require them. So where are you going to? Very commonly used statement. Where are you going to? That you don't need to use to. I really don't think there is any possibility to end a statement with prepositions. I mean, maybe because grammar is so wide, but honestly, it's very difficult to find a statement where it is supposed to end with preposition. So if you see a preposition at the end of a statement, 90% it's wrong. So where are you going to is unnecessary usage of preposition to. So where are you going? That's complete and enough. He entered into the room. So when, this is also very common. When entered is used, you do not need to follow it with into, because you can only enter into something. So the word enter itself is giving that sense. So you do not need to follow it with into. He entered the room silently. Enter itself includes into. She discussed about the issue. This is also very common. She discussed the issue. The word discussion itself encapsulates about. When discussion is happening, it is happening about something. So you are already you including about when you're using the word discussed. So discussed about is wrong, entered into is wrong, going to is wrong. So you do not use these prepositions unnecessarily. Okay. Use the right preposition for time. Oh yes. So you use at for exact times, on for specific days or date, in for months, year, or longer period. So we are discussing three propositions here: in, at, on, in. So you use at when you're talking about some exact place, exact time. So we will meet at 6 p.m. So exact time 6 p.m. So we will use at. If you're talking about some specific days or dates, then you use on. She was born on Monday, or she was born on 6th of May. He graduated in 2015. So when you're talking about months, years, or longer period, then you use in. Okay, I hope it's clear. On, at for exact time, on for specific days or date, in for months. So at, on, in. You can remember it like that. That's like at is for the smallest, on is for longish, in is for longer. So at, on, in. So AOI or something like whatever. You can make your own acronym or if you need to. So if someone says, I will meet you on 5th p.m., on 5 p.m., of course, wrong and stupid. I will meet you at 5 p.m. He was born in 14th June. Of course not. He was born on 14th June. Again, do not confuse in, at, and on for place. So use in for enclosed spaces, at for specific points or locations, and on for surface. So she is in kitchen. So small enclosed place, in. He is at the door, specific point or location, and the book is on the table. So something is kept on the surface. So he lives on Delhi? Of course not. It's not like he lives on the surface of Delhi, on the map of Delhi. He lives in Delhi. I am uh, in the bus. I am in the bus stop. Of course not. If a specific location is there, so we use at. I am at the bus stop. Okay. Use prepositions after certain verbs correctly. Some verbs require specific prepositions. These combinations may be memorized. Okay. So she's good at painting. He apologized for his mistake. They believe in hard work. So at painting or for his mistake, good at something, apologized for, believe in. So these verb and prepositions are used in combination. So you have to like remember these word preposition combinations. So he is good in cricket is also very commonly used. He's good at cricket. So somebody is good at something. Whenever you are using apologize, you're always apologizing for something. You're not apologizing to. Okay, let's look at some of the these verb preposition combinations are called verb preposition collections. They could have just called combination, but no, collection, because they want you to remember a new word. So you are always good at something. You apologize for something. You believe in something. They believe in hard work. You listen to something. Please listen to the teacher. They depend on something. It depends on the weather. You suffer from something. Suffers from headache. You agree with a person. I agree with you. Or you agreed to a proposal. She agreed to the plan. So agree can be used with in one context and to with a different context. He says something belongs to something. So the bag belongs to me. Okay. Someone worries about something. Worry is about something. So, like, what are you worrying about? Don't worry about the result. So, these verb and propositions are used in combination and not any other way. Okay. Use to and for appropriately. So, use to when indicating a direction or giving something to someone. Use for to express benefit, purpose, or reason. So, I gave the gift to her. The letter is for you. He bought a pen for his brother. So you are using to and for in a specific manner. Okay. So I explained the plan for them is not making sense. I explained the plan to them because you explained something to someone. She made a cake to her mother. Of course not. She made a cake for her mother. Okay. She's making it for her. Avoid using prepositions after certain verbs that don't require them. Some verbs are transitive. That is, they directly take an object and they do not need prepositions. So he demanded for an explanation. Again, very commonly committed mistake. He demanded an explanation because the word is transitive. It is directly taking the object. We do not need a proposition to connect with the object. So he demanded an explanation. We do not need for. They reached to the station on time. No, they reached the station on time because reached is a transitive verb. She ordered for pizza. So here, for is otherwise used to, add or, to bring the object to the verb or whatever. But if the verb is transitive, so it is obviously, it means that it is directly can take an object and do not need preposition. So if the transitive verbs are there, we do not need the preposition. She ordered pizza. So ordered itself is saying that somebody is doing that, asking for something. You cannot just she ordered. So something is being called upon. No, something is expected at after it. So the word order itself is required is giving a sense of a object being followed. Then what is the use of preposition? No, she reached. If you're reaching somewhere, it's already is giving a sense that you were going somewhere and you're about to reach. So you do not need a preposition to stick that destination to the word reaching. So she reached the station. So we do not need to join it. Okay. So she reached the station, ordered the pizza, demanded an explanation. You do not need preposition to stick them. Okay. Now let's look at the practice questions. Let's quickly finish this, and after this, I think that this was the last topic in this lecture. So just pause the video and quickly finish this. This is a very simple exercise. Okay. Now let's try to solve these questions. He entered the room quietly. Now enter is it okay? So the incorrect statement says he entered into the room quietly. So of course, entered ke baad we do not need to use into because entered itself is giving a sense that if you're entering, you will be entering into something. I was born in 15th August. No, I was born on 15th August. No, I was born on 15th August. On is used for specific date. The book the book is in the table. Of course not. The book is on the table because when we are referring to something kept on a surface, we use on. She is good in mathematics. No, we use she is good at mathematics. We did the table. Somebody is good at something. He apologized to his rude behavior. It's not like he's apologizing to the behavior. He apologized for his rude behavior. They reached to the airport just in time. So we do not reach itself is the transitive verb. So we do not need preposition to. So they reached the airport just in time. I'll meet you on 6 p.m. No, when we're talking about a specific time, we use at. I'll meet you at 6 p.m. She made a cake to her friend. She made a cake for her friend. Okay, we use for in this case. He demanded for a clear answer. Demanded is a transitive verb. Transitive verb, you can think of them, they're very accomplished. They do not need preposition because transitive verb already imply that they take objects directly. She demanded a clear answer. We discussed about the budget in the meeting. No, discussed itself when the discussed word is used, it's obviously about something. So the word discuss itself is encapsulating about, being about something. So we do not need about here. We discussed the budget in the meeting. Okay. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you have understood how the mistakes are committed and how to spot them and rectify them. Thank you so much for your patience. I'll see you again with a new topic. Bye bye.